Hey everyone, welcome. My name is Joey Fameli, and this is my favorite time of the year, the Tested Favorite Things Videos 2024 edition. Now, usually I have a whole bunch of fun doodads, books, board games to go through, but this has been a pretty busy one. My wife and I welcomed a brand new baby into this world, which means I've had a lot less time and a lot less sleep, but I still managed to get my hands on some fun things, so let's get right into it. Okay, so now as I set up for my favorite things video shoot, I thought this would be a great opportunity to show you guys my favorite light of this year. This is the Amaran F22C. Earlier this year, you saw me do a whole lighting build out in Adam's Cave. Those were all Amaran and Aperture lights. They sponsored that shoot, and I have here an Amaran F22. This thing is a portable light mat. It's essentially a flexible light mat of LEDs that folds up pretty small, so you can pack it away, and then you can extend it out into like a rigid form. The pack comes with like a bunch of little accessories and modifications, which is perfect for me because it makes this a very versatile, very useful light for all sorts of occasions. So you use these Velcro attachments to apply all your modifiers. Once you get the box added to your light, then you can start adding the modifiers that you want. Here, I'm gonna be shooting this location, just my house, but I wanna keep it pretty minimal. So I have this Christmas tree in the back that'll add some background light. I have a window here. It's pretty rainy and overcast, and so it'll provide me just with one big giant softbox that I can use as fill, so I can get pretty aggressive with this thing on one side. So what I want to do is, instead of just having all these bare LEDs, I'm going to apply this silk grid here that just Velcros right on. That will soften this light up and give it a bunch of diffusion, so it kind of wraps around my face a little more nicely. But I also want to keep this light off of the background. I don't want to hit those white walls. I want to sort of directionalize it towards myself and have it fall off or just completely miss that back wall. And so now I have this egg crate that comes with it that I can apply, and this will all sort of direct and point that light in a specific direction. So I'll go ahead and set my little desk here with my products, and then I'll use this light to sort of rake across me, and then hopefully this window will add enough fill to sort of soften up those rough edges. It comes with a ballast that attaches to a light stand. You can use a V-mount battery or plug it in, and then it's got full RGB-W control. So I can go any color, I can do effects all through the Sidus Link app. That's how we do it in Adam's shop. We have an iPad with the Sidus Link, and I control them all in a different universe. If you wanted to go DMX, it also has that capability to plug into a DMX board. So that again is the Amaran F22C, absolutely one of my favorite lights this year. Now, I think the thing that I have been most obsessed with all year long, that's been absolutely my most favorite thing, is this journey into film photography that I've been going into. Not only with the Nikon F2, which I've covered on the site here, but just exploring different film emulations, film stocks, and digital scanning, even instant cameras at this point, which I will get to. You know, there's a local photo store that sells all sorts of old cameras. That's where I get my film from. And through them, I discovered a local like photo walk through the Bay Area. There's a San Francisco chapter. There's a few others elsewhere. But they do mostly instant photos, but I've been using it as an opportunity to go along and take my regular cameras and sort of test them out. Even the cameras that I'm testing here aren't tested. But I ended up getting my daughter this Fujifilm Instax camera, which I really like. It's a SQ6, very readily available in terms of the film stock you can buy, the Fujifilm Instax Square film that you can find on like Amazon. It's pretty inexpensive. It's got about 10 shots. She's been having fun with this, and I got myself a Polaroid so that I can join her on these film walks. It's been a great bonding experience for me and her to go with this group of people, explore these areas in the neighborhood or these places where there's like events that you can go and have opportunities for little photos. And it's been absolutely wonderful watching her get really into this like tactile version of this. The photo comes out, sort of waiting for it. The Polaroid here is, you know, old school. It's a little on the soft side, very, very low latitude. The Fujifilm Instax is actually pretty nice quality. It's pretty good, like sharp quality. Still Polaroid. And again, it has like 3 or 4 stops of latitude, but it's not only been fun for that, but also like I'll take pictures of her and her friends, and then she can give those as little gifts and giveaways, turning photography into a very tactile experience, but also a very social experience where before I'm usually sort of behind the lens myself and the rest of the world melts away. This has been something that has been very inclusive to my family and new friends on these photo walks. So absolutely favorite thing of the year, film photography featuring these cameras that I have in front of you. Next up on my list is more camera stuff. These are cinema lenses. These are the Cooke SP3s. I have not yet done a video on these. I will. I'm getting that together as we speak. So I'm just going to do a very quick rundown, but I've been using this for a couple months and I have been absolutely adoring them. They have popped up in rank of my favorite things, even just having a couple months on them out of all the lenses I use. And I use a lot of lenses. The SP3s are an interesting bunch. They're a little bit smaller for a cinema lens, and that is because they're not rehoused, but they're basically redesigned Cook Speed Pancros. Cook Speed Pancros is a line of cinema lenses that are pretty popular. They're a little bit larger. They fit on cinema cameras. They have a very distinct Cook look. It's very clean, sharp, very nice contrast, color rendition, very good skin tones. This really classic traditional bokeh that's just super buttery and beautiful. And they've essentially designed those lenses just in a smaller form factor so that you can fit on essentially mirrorless cameras. Like these are E-mount, right? So we use these on the FX6. I practiced a little bit on those, which is a little bit bigger of a camera. But I shot a documentary with these on the FX3, which I think they really shine there. It's like a perfect form factor. That size of camera, this size of lens. They work beautifully with that FX3. They have an interchangeable mount. So the thing about E-mount lenses is that the rear element runs pretty close to the sensor size, so it's hard to adapt E-mount lenses onto other cameras. But they actually allow you to do essentially change out the mount and the mount and adapter itself on there so that you can fit this onto like a Canon R5 or something. Use the RF lens basically. So I was able to take some of these E-mount lenses, turn them into RF lenses by doing a little bit of a unscrewing, a shimming, and then house them there. They work really well in the Canon R5, but I think the Sony lineup is where these things really sing. They're about $4,000, so it's like a little bit what you expect for a cinema lens, or especially like a prosumer cinema lens. But these are absolutely like pro level quality, and I highly recommend them if you're looking for something really nice for your kit. If you're like a run and gun shooter, especially if you're on the FX3, these are sort of a big update if you want, or a big upgrade rather, if you want to increase that image quality. Stay tuned for a full video on these. Next on my list is the Rode Wireless Pro microphones. These are internal recording, internal battery. They charge on this USB-C rechargeable case, kind of the way you do with earbuds. Tons of storage space inside. 32-bit float, so I'll never have to worry about clipping these things. These are just a great companion piece to DSLR, mirrorless, or even iPhones, which I'm using here. Which brings me to my next favorite thing, and that is the 13-foot Jack Skellington Halloween decoration, which if you play your cards right and get the right accessories, you can just turn them over into be a Christmas time decoration. You can get them at Home Depot for like $500, but you need to be quick because the rule on the street is that only one person per block is really only allowed to have one in front of their house. Speaking of knives, I want to show you one of my favorite knives in the kitchen, and that is the Dahlstrom Gladiator Series noodle knife. This is essentially a Japanese menkiri knife made by this company Dahlstrom, which I believe are a Canadian knife company. And this is their version of that. They do a bunch of knives. I've actually never heard of them. I asked for a noodle knife because they came across my feed somehow for Christmas last year, and a brother-in-law was nice enough to get me one. And I have been using it to do hand-chopped noodles constantly. Not only that, but herbs, light things. It's a very interesting design, right? So it's got your handle on top here. All of your weight, you're applying pressure and force from the top. So unlike a traditional knife where I've been trying to cut noodles, I'm coming from the back or I'm trying to slice in. It's a little bit of a clunky process. You can totally cut noodles with a regular knife, but I did find some unevenness or maybe some squishing down. It was just a little bit trickier. And this allows me to just hold it by the handle on top and put overhead pressure and just bop, 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 and just slice up nice, nice cut tagliatelle or udon or whatever I'm into that night. The blade is only on the bottom, so it's got a nice bevel here, and it's just sharp right at the bottom here, so you're not going to do any accidental stabbings here. There's no real, it's a little bit of a point, but there's no real danger of points there. The handle is really nice. It's some kind of laminate handle. They put the specs on their site. I'm not familiar enough with the laminate or composite materials to tell you, but it feels really good in the hand. The handle's a nice size. It's got a great like center of gravity balance. It's right there in the middle. Really nice steel, some nice mirror finish. It is absolutely an essential part of my kitchen utensils now. It's about $100. I believe it's on sale, 120 to $100. Varying around there. Well worth it if you are a noodle aficionado. That's the Dahlstrom Gladiator Series Menkuri or noodle knife. And I also wanted to give a little bit of love to my tiny little Tilta multi-tool for cameras and camera cages. You're always sort of looking for a flathead, sometimes a Phillips, and sometimes some Allen wrenches that are specific sizes, the H3, H4s. Cages, camera cages come to all sorts of different attachment points, and it can get a little bit finicky to try and carry around all those tools or even like a larger tool set. But Tilta came out with this like $25, $30, just small 6-tool multi-tool that is can fit in your pocket, or it's got little grooves for if you want to throw it on a keychain. But essentially it has everything I need to assemble my camera cage, take it off a tripod, put tripod plates on it, basically just assess the maintenance needs of my camera on set or on location. It's pretty simple. It's got 4 sizes of Allen wrenches that are all very common sizes within the camera cage world. Flathead and a Phillips. That's all I need. I don't need a knife. I don't need a saw. I don't use saws in the camera world. It's just those 6 tools that I really need. And for 25 or $30, I bought a few for the office just to give around because they're always handy to have in a camera bag or in your pocket. And they're totally travel friendly. You can fly with these things without any issue from the TSA. That's the Tilta Multifunctional Multi-Tool Kit. And that will wrap it up for my favorite things of 2024. Thank you guys so much for your continuing support over the years. We could not do this without you. And lately around the office, we've been kicking around more content ideas, more ways to be creative for you, more ways to be creative for us. So we have lots of things in store. You know, I've been here at Tested a long time, and you know, I want to do this stuff now. I'm not getting any younger, and in fact, I'm getting older. And time is marching on. I'm getting a lot older. And that's right, just as you guessed it, we're gonna be starting a second YouTube channel. If any of the stuff I talked about here interests you, I'll be going into deeper dives over there about the camera gear, lenses, production, behind the scenes of Tested content. Norm, Josh, all the contributors who've put in content out there. So be sure to check the description for that link and subscribe. Thanks, Joey. And thank you guys again for this wonderful year. We'll see you. Did you hear that? What's that noise? You feel that? Yo! No. No, not like this, not like this! See you next year.